topic of this meeting, like every meeting on third Thursday of the month, is the illusion of a separate self. Or what is this no self or separate self? What is this person? What is that seems to be perceiving life, that somehow is living here inside this body, inside the mind, making things happen? And there are many, many ways to inquire into that and look into it from different angles. And it's like collecting a puzzle. This little piece fits here, this little piece fits here. And then suddenly there's a whole view. What's going on? At the very end of the puzzle, what is becoming clear is that there's nothing wrong with you. And that there is everything included. That this human experience is exactly right. There's nothing wrong with your experience. And that allows one to really rest deeply and just be yourself. Now, how can I say that? There is no I, and here you are. Isn't that funny? There is no I as the mind imagines it. That image is not the I. The sensations are not the I. The contraction is not the I. But here you are. I recently bought reading glasses. Getting old. So it's like a shield. There's me there behind the glasses. There are glasses. There is the outside world. And now I'm seeing everything through the glasses. It's a little bit funny, but it's okay. It's not the real picture, but it's okay. And these glasses are not seeing anything. They are not participating in the view. They just change the view slightly. And I do not see the glasses unless I look at the frame and become aware of it. But what if these glasses are like this? I see everything through this me. Me. You can give it a name, change the label. A good person, a bad person, a mother, a daughter, a child, a caretaker, a friend. So if everything is being seen through this lens, and then I forgot that there is something there, but this lens is the one that is seeing it, the view is actually clearer like this. Just seeing what is as it is. So that me is like a third thing that comes in, that is being given all the credit for everything in life. I am doing, I am feeling, I am sitting, I am talking. Seems like there's some kind of entity, some person, me, that is interacting with life, having a relationship with life. But you are here with and without thoughts, with and without feelings, with and without any experiences, all the experiences passing by. The voice in the head narrates everything through the first perspective. And it seems like there is this entity that is having the experience. But what is here if the mind is not talking? What is here without that? We. Me. It's just it. And because there are so many people sharing about their experience, and now with internet and YouTube and everything like that, it's just never-ending stream of other people sharing. It may appear that my experience is not enough, it's not good enough. Something is lacking, something is missing. Why am I not having that experience? Or when is this going to happen? And that's the search. How to fix this me, how to make this experience better, or the way that I want it to be, the I wants it to be. And this is missing the point entirely because this experience is a gift, such a gift. It's unique. It's precisely what it needs to be. And there is nothing wrong with this experience. Even though sometimes there are difficult parts, there are light parts, there are funny parts, there are tragic parts. There is nothing wrong with the whole experience. So it's a relief to know that it doesn't have to be fixed. And it may feel like a little bit of a trap because there is no way escaping it. Like you cannot run away from yourself. Anywhere you go, your thoughts, your feelings, your stories, everything is coming with you. But if I know that these stories is not what I am, these feelings is not what I am, it's what's arising, what I see through the eyes of a person. The person arises, the view arises, just like glasses. Then there is no need to run away from any of it. Everything's included. So your neighbors are included, your parents are included, your bosses are included, annoying people are included, lovely people are included. Everything is included. And there is nothing wrong with it. And if you hear but, no, there's something wrong. That's an interesting point to investigate because you're not here to please anyone or whoever told you ever that there is something wrong with you and you should be like this and you should be like that and don't feel this and don't say that and God forbid, don't think negative thoughts or be angry or cry. This is not you. This is the mind creating a me that should be like this. That's the picture. This me should look like this. And if it doesn't look like this, then maybe somebody else in the same mind is going to get upset. So this me better behave and be like that picture in my mind wants this me to be. It's tragic, really, because that doesn't allow us to relax and to be who we are in a natural state as we come. So there is a lot of work to polish that me, to improve it, to grow it, to expand it. And yet it's just like a wisp. Because that me changes constantly. It's not solid. And if you start looking at it, what is it? What is that me in experience? It's tension, it's contraction. It's something felt in the body like, ah, that's me. I know that feeling, it's familiar, that's me. Maybe it's in the heart, maybe it's in the head, somewhere hiding. And the exit of all of this is very, very quick and short. And it doesn't require practice, it doesn't require meditation. It's just one question. Is there that me at all? I think there is. Yes. Okay. I think there is. I feel it. I sense it. There are thoughts, there are sensations, there are feelings. Yes. There's sense of contracting? Yes. Muscular tension? Yes. Which one of that is me? So when this question arises, is there a me at all? Is there this I, this entity, this somebody here in charge, separated from life, making life happen? The answer comes immediately because the mind goes blank. It goes, oh. And then, but. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. And the arguing can start. But the answer is that blankness, that silence, that space that opens and is seen and dismissed. And so what if there is no me at all? The me as it thought to be. So what? Nothing changes. Everything's the same. But maybe then it's easier to see that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your experience. Whatever is coming and going is just passing by the space that you are. And now hearing this, do you have any but? Let's hear it. Let's explore it together. This is just an intro, a short intro. Please, Josh. Yes, just unmute yourself.
Hi, Ilona.
Hi.
So yeah, the thing you were saying about the me being like a contraction, I don't know if I've ever really experienced. I was thinking about it the other day. Have I ever experienced a me? And I mean, I kind of felt or believed that I hadn't, but then I realized, well, there have been thoughts of a me that's continuous, that. So I don't know if it was like some kind of like a division in my like a personal identity of not of believing I didn't have a me rather than having having clearly seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess, yeah, I don't know. Is that something that everyone kind of has, or
Oh, it may be hiding in so many different places and spaces. Interestingly, if you start looking for that me, there's nothing to find. Nothing to find. Like there's nothing that the finger could point to or land on that would be this me. But it can also be like sense of doing, controlling, thinking, making things happen, intending things happen, wanting, all kinds of different places. Oh, it may feel like a separateness Like I am here, the world is out there, and I have to survive and I have to make this world to go the way I want to. Can also be a sense of poor me, look what they did to me. Oh, how dare they? It can also be a sense of pride. Oh, look at me. I'm so good. I'm the best. And they don't know, I know. It's always that division because that me is here with others. It has to compare something, something to compare with.
Isn't it? It's kind of weird because the me, like, if we identify as all these different patterns of belief, and I mean, this might be a conclusion I'm coming to, but we just pick them up from life, from we see something and then it gets stored in the body. And while we're kind of not super conscious of our true nature, we can't see it ourselves. And then we go to it, people go to teachers, and then you kind of uncover, or it feels like what's being uncovered is what already was present there. And so it's like familiar. There's this recognition of, oh yeah, that's kind of like this or like that in my life, but that's also just another kind of reference point or identification. So it's kind of weird in that realm.
Yeah,
It's always
it's like a ghost in a machine, except that there is no ghost. There's an idea that there is a ghost or that it's hiding. If I cannot see it, then that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
But we cannot see what doesn't exist. We can only see what is presently here. So how can you see an absence of this me?
That's a really good question because I don't know. Like something obviously sees something, right? But
Literally, the shortest way is to see if that I or that me is here right now. And how do you know that?
um, I mean, in a lot of direct pointing, it seems like you can recognize the piece of the present moment and say, well, without a thought, there isn't a me. There isn't, I'm not here as an individual or something. There's only this kind of field of knowing or field of being or presence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this seems like there's still kind of like I still appear as I
Okay, if
guess
there
as
is no thought about me, what is here?
hmm,
But don't look in thought. If there is no thought, what is besides thoughts, underneath thoughts? Right? To say anything, we again need to come back to thoughts and thinking and trying to describe. But just as that question is asked, the space opens, it's quiet. Do you get a sense of that?
yes.
Hmm.
But when I say yes, I don't, I get the feeling like I don't know if you'll believe me, which is weird. Not just kind of, but it's simple, isn't it? It's not something that no one has real access to feeling. It's kind of just here. It's just so it's the simplest kind of thing.
Yes.
But
Yeah. You know, when we were kids running around, not a care in the mind, just feeling safe, if you're lucky. But there was just that openness, curiosity, innocence, playfulness, creativity, that kind of feeling at ease, natural state. It's nothing new, it's familiar, it's known, it's remembered. Nothing extraordinary. It may seem extraordinary, but it's something very familiar, present all the time. Just somewhere in the background, far, far away from the busy mind that is creating these ideas and personalities and everything like that. But that openness, comfort, safety can be found. Yeah, and it's beyond the mind, or before the mind. Before the mind comes in with yes and no, that sense of being.
is there like I guess what's been coming up for me probably for the last I don't know how long, but it feels like there's this kind of like is it only it's only the mind that can say if an action that someone's doing is a good action or a bad action, and whether an action that I've done is kind of bad or good or but uh but then it doesn't make sense to me how if you recognize your true nature, you're kind of like the naturalness means you're kinder or you're more compassionate or I'm guessing so that's what we would call goodness. So there's still like a label for goodness and things coming from unconsciousness or
Hmm. Where am I? So if I walk around with glasses all my life and don't even know that this thing is called glasses and never taken it off, and then I take it off, nothing changes. So recognizing this for what it is doesn't change the view, doesn't change the character, doesn't change conditioning, doesn't change anything. But it's recognizing that, yeah, there is something extra here that is much more comfortable without it. Yeah, and when it's more comfortable, tend to relax and do things differently in life rather than from tension. But it doesn't mean that all the conditioning suddenly is going to vanish just like that. So the person doesn't change. You are who you are. You're not a person. And the person that you see is evolving. But the conditioning doesn't dissolve just because you see that you are not this person. That this person refers to images, ideas, beliefs, conditioning, the whole bundle of behaviors, responses, reactions. That there's something here that sees that. And all this is playing out by itself unconsciously, automatically. And you see that. It's a very interesting process. Because some patterns they fall away naturally with ease, other patterns they need some work. But something is changing. Right? You like what you like, and you're gonna like what you like.
So the patterns of um a separate self, like those will still be appearing. Those still appear if if recognition of true nature happens kind of in this form. Actually, after that point, there'll still be a lot of conditioning and uh like up until the end of the life of the kind of physical entity.
I don't know that because I haven't been at the end of the life yet. But most likely. Well, in the beginning,
But
there are a lot of things to take care of. I mean, the longer you go, things still arise, but it's not so intense. It's not so much. Maybe there are periods of more intensity.
thank you.
You're welcome. I have cats here in the room and they don't talk. They don't say I, me, mine. They can still act in a selfish way. They can still be very self-oriented. That's a pattern. Guess that's also nature.
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. So your pointers have been very helpful, both on these videos and your other work. It's interesting, and it's seeping in a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff. And when I'm sitting or still, and I'm getting out of nature and going for long walks in the cold, but I actually enjoy it, bundle up, go with my dog. And my mind races like I know it's racing and I know I'm not doing it. It's coming. I know it, but what happens is all the pointers you give, do this, do that, do this, do that, da, 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 da. By the time my 2 mile walk's over, you know what I mean? So is it just the process of being patient for it to mature, to grow to other parts of life? I mean, even if I'm sitting with other people, I'm still, your pointers are very helpful, very helpful. But it's interesting when I go for these walks, I purposely don't listen to music or listen to whatever, and I don't take phone calls, don't bring my phone. And And just wanted your thoughts on that.
I hear you, because there is a time when the old system of belief is starting to crumble. There are gaps in there. Some things no longer make sense. And it's like, oh, it doesn't feel comfortable because, it's nice when everything is neat, organized, and you know who you are, what life is, and how it works. But now there is some kind of a little earthquake there. And there are some things that don't make sense. And the mind is like, I need to make sense of that. Maybe this, maybe that. Just placing like Tetris, like playing Tetris. Now thing is falling into, where is the space? Where is the space for that? Here. And this one is falling. And that one is, what to do? Oh my God. And that's a natural process. It will play out. But just, yes, as you said, just being patient. Being patient and also curious, because that's quite an interesting process going on there. There's many things that were taken for granted. And then when there is a rip in this belief system, then what now? Then there's an opportunity and possibility to look freshly and see what is out there. Maybe it's not what was thought, but now you can see how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and it takes time. I'm always remembering that for me, it was like an amusement park got open. I didn't know it was there. I thought entertainment is out there on TV or somewhere, music or getting out with the friends or whatever. But the amusement park was here. There were so many rides, so many stories, so many beliefs. I was like, oh, what's next? Oh, this is happening. So I used to watch movies. I loved watching movies at some point. And once that amusement park opened, I could watch a movie. I could sit in front of the TV and be so engrossed in that inner circus, let's call it that I wouldn't know what the movie was about. It was just completely not connecting. I could see this scene, that scene, and that scene, and absolutely no idea what's going on, because all attention was in this process of, oh, look at that. Oh my God, what's going on here? This is so much more interesting than that. And even trying to follow that didn't work anymore for a while.
Yeah, I've experienced that actually. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's so much energy needed to process what's going on with the belief system innerly.
Yeah, what pops in is trying. I'm aware of that. So a lot of pointers we've learned, and I know even the basic ones, like the question you presented today, or who am I, and then in mind and then you get like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like you're just trying to figure it out, but I know you can't figure it out with the mind, and then then it's circular. But like I said, if I'm sitting still, even here now, sitting around, it's like in a very short time, it's opening. So I was just wondering if it's common from other people you work with the walking and all that, or like you said, the TV. It sounds like it happened to you. It's common, so it's nothing to, you just got to be patient. Let the rose bloom, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I know there's nothing wrong, but no, I get that. It was just an interesting, like, from stillness to moving, how it changes. Do you see that a lot in other?
Yeah.
Well, yes, nothing's wrong. Okay, gotcha.
There is nothing wrong. This is how it is. And maybe it's not what other people said or what you heard. but this is how it is. And you know that
So
by
maybe my mind's
experience.
busy. That's how it is.
Yes, this is how it is.
Gotcha.
And who's to say how it should be for you?
Right.
This voice in the head doesn't know anything how it should be. It's better employed if it just describes what is. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a circus going on. All the monkeys, they don't know where they belong. They need to settle in a new position, learn new circus numbers. So what helps is just being kind to yourself. I mean, being kind to the mind. It's working.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and respecting all the work that it's doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I recently spoke to somebody just for an hour that the person was so lost in the head. It was very complicated. And there was no recognition of reality or actuality or what is, absolutely, because everything was going through concepts. And yeah, it was very difficult. That mind can be so tricky to deny experience, to avoid looking into it even for whatever reason, to escape. It would create the bubble of illusion, complete illusion. I would believe it, protect it, it would argue, and don't even go there or touch it. There's no opening for deconstruction to even start. And the person said they've been into this for a few years. That's just the power of that belief, the power of that contraction. To distort everything so that you can keep the beliefs. Like not everyone is given that ability or possibility or a gift of questioning or inquiry or even wanting to know who am I or what's going on here. Not everyone is given that question or that willingness, openness to find out. But even some people are given that curiosity, let's say. There is so much against that. It's so difficult to penetrate that protection of the current belief system that the mind will do anything and everything not to allow that doubt in. Because what penetrates through is the doubt. Like doubt is, oh, such a bad thing. I don't want to have doubt. But the doubt is what opens up the door into questioning. Because if I know how it is, there is no openness. But what if I don't know? Aha, now there is an openness. Now there is a possibility to find out something maybe that wasn't taught before. So doubt has its very, very good place here in this questioning. We can't question anything if we don't doubt.
So I love you speaking about the doubt, and somehow it just has an impact on on an approach somehow that I have judged doubt, and it just feels kind of sanctioned, that it's such a beautiful possibility to doubt. Just turning it upside down for me right now. But I'm today, and I spoke to you earlier today, that I am today with this linking of the mind, the thought, with experience, and kind of how it unlinks itself. Every time it's seen that it's like a leaning of the mind onto the experience. There is nothing in common in a way. The experience is the experience, and then there is a sound in the mind aloud. I don't know where I'm going with it. Just sharing.
What's for me most fascinating is this. Do you have some water somewhere we can drink? Yeah, let's try that. Do you have water?
I have some remains of tea.
Okay. It really works nice with water because it's so common. We drink it every day, right? Water is essential. And yet, what does it taste like? Can you describe the taste of water?
Actually, there are differences in taste of water, I must say.
Okay, but how do you
I
describe?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But essentially, I couldn't.
Yeah. So whatever words come in, I don't know.
I would say it's tasteless, basically.
Okay, that's a description, right? So whatever labels or descriptions come in about the experience, it cannot touch it. It's so different. Like the experience and the word, tastes like tasteless, tastes like nothing. These words or these concepts, they are secondary. They don't even touch experience. The mind translates what's going on here into words. It's like translation of experience into words. But these words, they are not experience. The experience is not touched. Sorry.
And the words are just sounds that are agreed upon in a culture, that they mean something, and that one thought, which is the moment I can't quite get there, not clear. There can be a thought like I thought, and then there has to be certain leaning into it for the personality to arise, kind of take shape. But then the question is, who is leaning into that thought? Because the thought can pass through, so it's like the thought, I am here, and it's gone, and there wasn't any. But then there's when I believe the thought, but who believes the thought? So there isn't any who I find. So there is an action of believing. It's like a Velcro, but there is nothing that Velcros onto that thought.
Yes. It's more like a Teflon.
This is where my mind starts. Yeah, but it's kind of starts breaking up my mind because there is no more, the logic breaks at that point because it's
Yeah.
like, what is Velcroing or, trying to stick to the thought, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. It's a little bit like, we were wearing clothes. Okay, we put the clothes on and we go out in the world with the clothes on, but we are not the clothes. I'm not this top. So this identity is like that, like a t-shirt. We go out, we put it on, but I'm not this invisible, energetic contraction dress.
So it's like becoming, not becoming, but unbecoming in a way.
Yes. And yet
Unbecoming.
still
So
these can be on. It can be on. There's nothing wrong with it. It can be on. But there is that knowing that I'm not that. So it can be on or off, doesn't matter. Usually when you're on your own in your house, there is nobody there. There is not expecting for anyone to arrive, and you are completely relaxed, let's say. Say you're
I'm
completely
not, but
relaxed. Let's say, yeah.
yeah.
And then a phone rings and it's your mom or somebody that you have a close connection to. And then that relaxation may go, whoof, oh, I know what I am now. I'm a daughter. I have a conversation with my mom, and this is the role. This is the projection that is coming online. And there is an exchange going on according to the programming of how this person interacts with that person. And then the phone down, there may be thoughts after thoughts, still compressing or relaxing, depends. But after a while, it's like, oh, here you go. I don't need to play any role now. So what happens? The energy, the expanded energy, openness suddenly takes a form and plays us through that form, that program that has been set for years, like thoughts, images, knowing, beliefs, everything with it, behavior, that little ball of me. But as it comes online, it also disappears. It's not you. It's not what you are.
So this connects for me with also the physical experience. So the experience of looking so often is that let's say I have attention here and I'm looking from somewhere, can be different, but down here. And then I am trying to look at this particular tension from which apparently I am looking at. There is a kind of a frustration as I kind of get locked into a particular tension somewhere like a boundary, even behind the body. And I guess it's a belief that I must believe in, that I cannot move outside of that tension, that there is a limit to my looking from.
But you are seeing that tension, right? You are seeing the first tension and then you are seeing the second tension.
So I'm seeing that tension, I go into, let's say, this tension here. Then I am kind of going underneath the tension and looking from underneath out tension. And then I'm going into that tension, that third tension. And as I am within that tension, there is it's like being in the cloud. It unravels, you know, it just unravels. I cannot find anything. And then my attention goes to another tension, which is still a little bit lower. So I kind of don't follow through this unraveling, but just the attention jumps onto another tension, which is here. You know, and it's like a maze of tensions, you know, and then
Yes, and look at the words as well. Tension and attention. Tension, attention. So what the tension wants is the friend attention to be on it, then it can release. The tension is here saying, give me attention. I need attention. And it's going to be here till that attention is going here, and softly, gently watching, letting it be, allows that energy to open up and resolve.
And so I've experienced it, you know, an uncountable number of times, but also the tension comes back in the same place, in the same way, over and over and over. So, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, and yet it's a repetition. You know, it seems like it's the same tension, you know, in the same way. And then I have a thought which I believe that I should or need or must resolve the tension, which is a thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
that is the tension. That is the tension of assuming that it's your job to resolve the tension. But the tension self-resolves. You can't do it.
So another thought which is behind that is that I should create environment in which the tension can resolve itself. You know, it's kind of clever.
Yeah. Let's notice that one too, because this is also tense. Like I should. It's already tension, yeah. So literally what you are following through is the next piece of information that gets your system to contract.
Yes.
Like the next belief, the next contract that informs your system to contract.
Yes. Yes, a lot of contracts.
Yes, a lot of contracts, lots of contractions, tensions, and all it needs is attention, attending to it, attending.
So why don't I make the decision to attend to it more often? You know, like throughout the day. You know, when it feels the priority, you know, for me, it seems there is nothing more important, you know, than to let this life being lived undistorted, for instance. And yet, I don't give full attention, you know, far from that, to that.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I cannot force myself to make a decision. You know, I've done it before, and then it's a backlash. You know, if I just sat, meditated, and it was just not a good idea.
Okay, but let's go back to right to the beginning, my opening statement. There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your experience. That's how it is.
Okay, so we are speaking about resistance, and that there is nothing wrong with resistance.
Yeah.
To attending and giving attention to the tension, for instance.
Yeah, so every moment is expressing exactly the right way. How about that? There may be a voice in the head saying that this is not enough. I should be doing more. I miss my opportunities. I have to try harder. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm comparing to something, either time, to the past, or to other people, or I generalize and compare to this generalization. The moment you said about something, it just kind of brought me into this moment, then it resolves somehow.
Right.
Mm. Oh.
And when it resolves, it's kind of funny, isn't it? I love it.
Mm.
There's some laughter or joy or something. It's like it's fun. The point is, we didn't create this universe. We didn't. I didn't make these colors to appear how they appear, or vibrations that we call sound. I didn't make it happen. I'm not the designer of the universe. Not to sit back here and imagine or assume that it's not working and I have to fix it. It's kind of ridiculous. Don't you think?
It kind of is, yes. Ridiculously ridiculous,
Right. So something put me in the position of managing the universe, saying, I should be doing this, life should be doing that. I should feel something else, or I need to have different experiences like other people have. That's kind of thinking that life doesn't know what it's doing, or that this intelligence doesn't know how to run the show, or the laws of nature are not working. And here I am. I know how it should be. Look at me.
Mm. Yes, so that one of the trump cards I seem to hold is that I should work harder, inquire longer, not distract in different ways. So this is one of these management projects.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, good to notice that.
Mm. But then the doubt comes, and it goes the other way around, the doubt. Rather than doubting the conclusions, I doubt the okayness of that. Yeah.
Right. But you can always check with the okayness. You can always check, is it okay? Is it okay for this experience right now of this moment to be as it is?
Yes.
You can
The
check.
moment, it's instant. The moment I kind of wake to this moment up, rather than I'm in some kind of picture of life or day or whatever it is, time, the moment it kind of aligns the attention. I don't know what attention, probably. It's obvious that it's okay at the moment, at least.
Yes, at the moment.
Even doubting is okay. And this is, you see, there was a rise in my body, like an energy came up, and then the name came, that this is the doubt, this consensus came up. But even that is okay.
Yeah,
This
it's
moment.
included. It's included. It can be.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ilona, can I just ask you a question following up with your discussion with
Yes.
Kama?
Yes.
Kama, I
Please.
can totally relate, by the way. Totally get it. And I've heard you discuss resistance, and sometimes this helps me. And I know you said attention to tension. That does work sometimes, but sometimes I've heard you say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, saying, asking the tension, what are you trying to tell me? And that really helps. So is that a different door you could go to towards the tension? Or you didn't say that?
Yeah. Resistance is very interesting phenomena. It's one of the most interesting things. It's so misunderstood, and it also steals so much energy. Yeah, it's very rich ground to explore. And simply put, it's your best guide. You know, don't need angels or anything. You have your own resistance. They can guide you out of the maze into the lightness. It's your guide, it's your friend. It is here to protect. Okay? So it has an agreement, a contract to protect something. And it was needed at the time. And it's working perfectly. It's not failing. It's just doing what it's been instructed to do by the system. And years and years and years of new instructions has built all this structure of defense. Something is being defended. We feel that defense as a contraction. But have you ever looked behind it? What is there that protection is protecting? Like, what is there? And when you start looking, you may find that there may be an image, there may be an idea, there may be a sensation, there may be nothing. And then you can look, and does that really need protection? Or is it still helping? Is that particular protection is still functioning in the right way? And if not, it falls away, because the system is designed to run smoothly and in support of each parts support each other. So when that particular program is seen as redundant or even harming the system, it falls away. Unless there is something installed that is not yours, like a parasite, then it's a different conversation. But otherwise, resistance is saying, oh, you haven't looked behind that door. Do you want to look now? Or you're going to let me run for another 20 years and then you're going to look?
So how do you know when to see it? I see you, and then it dissolves. I guess you would know, and if it doesn't dissolve, then you could say, is it helping me? Or I know there's many things you could do, or say, what are you trying to tell me? You just have to
you
use
can talk
different
to it.
tools.
Yeah, basically, if you see resistance as a friend, you can talk to a friend.
Thanks.
Welcome.
I just have a add-on
Yes.
add-on resistance, because you said to look behind, you know, but there is no behind. I'm just checking that I cannot find the behind. It's like there is no behind, you know, there is a contraction.
Yes.
And there is, you know, where is the behind? I cannot find the behind. So if there is no behind, it cannot protect. You know, there is no behind. It's just an add-on from
Yes.
from that.
So there is nothing there to protect.
I can't find anything. There is just contraction. It's like a fist contracting.
in the
There is no
space.
behind.
In the space. This fist is in the space. And it seems like this tension is protecting the space. The space doesn't need to be protected by this tension.
So it's even devoid of protecting, really, because if I take that word out, then all there is this experience thing of density, kind of densification of space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's meaningless.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah.
But often, very often, the protection is for the inner child. Inner child is words pointing to the innocence, openness, playfulness, preciousness, this sweet little one, very young energy. And if that comes up, it's beautiful, because then you can have a chat with that inner child, with that energy, and give it what it needs to relax. And it is, again, attention, love, kindness, just holding it, like meeting that energy fully. Because that's when it started in childhood. The protection started being built in childhood. And that's where they get resolved. At the root.
It makes sense, and yet I personally don't have any experiences of childhood innocence or carefreeness or lightness or anything. You know, I don't have such memories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have, you know, memories of extinction, you know, annihilation. That was in my environment.
Mm-hmm.
Was like Holocaust, basically. I'm from
Oh.
Poland. And I was just today with it. It was this unnameable experience of like falling and kind of extinction. The word extinction came actually,
Mm-hmm.
experience of that I couldn't name until today. It came today. So I don't question that there must have been times when this innocence was directly experienced, but I don't have a point reference in terms of memory of that. So it's like if I experience innocence or joy or lightness these days, it doesn't associate with being a child,
I hear you.
as if it hasn't happened. You know, I was a child. Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone is so lucky to be born in a loving, kind family, in a nice country. Not everyone. But we are here as we are. To have all these experiences as they come.
It's not a complaint. It's more
I
that
hear you.
hard to relate that this protection is of the inner child, where the inner child, you know, of these qualities that you have mentioned. It's more, it's more a kind of opening and listening and wondering. You know, it's like, okay, so, you know, so what is being protected? That when there is no intimation of this, you know, innocence as a child, somewhere being protected. And yet I can hear innocence as well, right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes this innocence is so deep and pre-verbal that the conscious mind or the memory has no reference. There were no language then.
Yes, that feels more like it, that it's pre-verbal. Yeah. Because I can feel
Because
right.
it's when the baby is conceived, when it's just a tiny little thing inside mom, it already absorbs the energies from environment, emotions from mom. And it, all the programming is being installed then in a pre-verbal unsafety, horror, fear, sadness. It can come through that, and then it can live in the system all life until it's recognized and kind of dealt with it. From the adult point of view, nurturing the innocence of the inner child, giving it love now.
You say love, and I was just experiencing this love for him. Like it's within this it's as if love has been always preserved in this extinction environment, like a preservation of it for it to become consciously loved somehow. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and for the finish, let's remember that there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with experience. Everything's included. And here we are. All the waves suddenly feel like poof. Something fell off. Got quiet. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here, sharing, listening, holding the space.
Thanks, Ilona. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ilona. Great stuff.
Thank you.